On the junior quads, look at that for timing. Junior quads, Warrington on the Buckinghamshire station, Marlow on the Berkshire station.
Just.
Yeah, no, absolutely, making full use of their stations, you said earlier. Two top-end junior quads. This is absolutely one of my favourite events, having been a junior and not competed in the junior women's, but the junior men's equivalent. It is always a hotly contested event.
Failed a medical, did you?
Failed a medical, yeah. Quite. Warrington are the national schools champions in this event, but they are without Lucy Glover today, who's their star athlete. She's a junior international. She is racing in the junior doubles this weekend, so watch out for her crew in that event. I think they progressed earlier on today, so this Warrington quad without their star girl, but still putting in a pretty good performance here. And Marlow Rowing Club, of course, under the stewardship of Brett King, who has coached so many crews to success. Of course, Marlow made the final of the Diamond Jubilee Challenge Cup in 2014 and 15. So loads of pedigree in that boat. Coming down the course, I have to say, if Warrington do manage to win this race against a stern opposition from Marlow, it'll be quite the feat without Lucy on board. That's not discounting the other girls from Warrington. Of course, it takes 4 people to move a quad.
Yeah, and winning is a habit.
Absolutely. Interesting steering there from Marlow, overcorrection a bit. But Warrington had moved out to a length. Stunning start from those girls. And I was actually speaking to Lucy a couple of weeks ago. I know she's not on board this crew, but she did say as a crew, the mentality was get as fast a start as possible, and then you can control the race. They work a lot on their start, Warrington, under the coaching of Richard Sinnott, of course, who's an umpire, as well as a coach at Warrington. So he's got them working on their start, and it's obviously paying dividends here because they are a length up with about 500 metres gone.
What they've got to do is hang on to it and make something of it. The first bit's done, you go off to an early lead with the idea of controlling the race. Well, you've got to control the race, which means you've got to be in command of it. They do look jolly good, don't they? With or without their star athlete, that's a tidy quad.
Absolutely. I think, as I said earlier, the quad is so important. It's so important to row well together.
Yeah.
Not just rowing well on your own, in a single and a double. You've got to make the crew go fast.
But it is a very quick boat.
Absolutely. Yeah, second only to the eights. And this Warrington crew are making this look remarkably easy, I have to say. And it's always good to see when you take an athlete like Lucy out of the boat. It's fantastic to see that the crew can still boat and be competitive. Not just competitive, but front end. I mean, this Warrington crew, I wouldn't bet against them winning and taking the whole title, honestly, which would be a remarkable achievement.
Well, that would be amazing.
Set them up brilliantly for the national schools. Now, if I am talking at cross ends here and Lucy is in fact on board and I've been reliably informed wrongly, that is my apologies, but my information is that Lucy is not on board this crew, hence why I keep referencing her as out of the boat. But they are now 2 lengths up on Marlow. I have to say, I thought Marlow would do more in this race.
Well, they're not moving as well. And I have to say, Tom, if you are wrong, don't forget the great rule is if you're going to make a mistake, make it with confidence.
No,
and it doesn't look to me as if Marlow are moving their boat as well as Warrington. It's as simple as that. They are not getting the send on the boat. They're not getting the speed in the water. And Warrington have done what they intended to do, which was take an early lead and take command of the race.
Absolutely. This is obviously the junior women's quadruple sculls.
Yes.
For the B Language Trophy, sponsored by the Colgan Foundation. So again, thank you very much for all our sponsors today. And throughout the weekend, it's phenomenal support from all of you and obviously to all the guys on the banks as well. So we'll head back down to the start for the next quarter-final of the Junior Women's Quadruple Sculls with Baltimore Rowing Club of the USA on the Berkshire station and Latimer Upper School on the Buckinghamshire station. A little bit of background on this. Baltimore Rowing Club actually came up against Shiplake Vikings earlier in the day, a crew who I expected to progress right to the latter stages of this event, and Shiplake Vikings snapped a blade 5 strokes into the race.
Oh, yes. I spoke to the lady who was umpiring that. It was very tragic, really.
Yes, absolutely. So Baltimore basically had a row over, and so they should be fresh, they should be ready for this. Be interested to see how those girls who've made the trip from the USA get on in this quarter-final, up against stern opposition from Latimer, who always produce a good sculling crew, having won the Diamond Jubilee Challenge Cup at the Henley Royal in 2013. They always produce a good crew at this level. And it looks like they've got the early advantage over the Baltimore girls, who are all wearing black kit and yellow hats. Easily spotted from the bank.
In fact, they've got quite a nice lead over Baltimore.
Sizable, yeah.
Sculling very nicely, very smoothly, and moving away, I think, from Baltimore.
Now, of course, this begs the question. Latimer finished quite a way below Shiplake Vikings at the national schools. And so it begs the question, had Shiplake Vikings had a proper row against Baltimore, who would have come out on top?
Yes, they caught, as I understand it, a pretty unpleasant crab which
yeah.
just took the blade in the wrong direction. And that
Blade
was it.
splitting, yep, absolutely. This Baltimore crew, kudos to them for coming all the way across from the USA. I mean, that is one hell of a trip. But it's worth it to race at the Henley Royal Regatta. But they are, unfortunately, being outdone here by the crew from Latimer. And if you are watching our stream from the USA and are supporting these girls, welcome. Thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure. It's great to see such fantastic quality of racing in the junior women's quadruple sculls here. Of course, as Robin said earlier, the quality is getting better every single year. But it is Latimer who are looking like taking this win with something to spare.
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, if you happen to follow a certain Mr. Phelps on Twitter, you will be getting an awful lot of information about Latimer's successes this season. Without fail, you're getting full 24/7 information about everything they win, which is quite a lot. And I think they're going to win this.
Well, they had a phenomenal national schools, and
They did.
They won more medals than I could count, which is probably not a reflection of my intelligence.
But again, that's Southampton University for you, really.
I'm not going to rise to that one. No, but it is Latimer who continues to scull away. And
they're having a cracking season, and this is part of it.
Yeah, impressive stuff. And if you did see that caption there on the bottom of the screen, that was the results page for this year, the www.hwr.regattaresults.co.uk. Head there for all the results of this year's racing. But we'll head back up to the start now. The next quarterfinal of the junior quadruple sculls for women is underway, and it's on the course. We're just watching. Yep, there we go. We're underway in this third quarterfinal between Nottingham Rowing Club on the Berkshire Station and Glasgow Schools Rowing Club on the Buckinghamshire Station. Nottingham comfortably progressed earlier, and Glasgow School likewise. Glasgow School, of course, won a silver medal at the National Schools Regatta in this event, so loads of pedigree on board. They actually almost caught Warrington in the closing stages of that race. I was commentating alongside in a commentary car, so I watched the race from start to finish, and I know that Glasgow have got loads of pedigree on board. India's Summerside, who's a junior international. Obviously, the crew is coached by Ian Summerside, so that's his daughter. So loads of pedigree on board. But Nottingham, well, maybe they're putting the cat amongst the pigeons here. They're upsetting the form book. Looks like Nottingham have an early lead.
Yeah, but look at Warrington. They're having a good crack at this. I don't mean Warrington, do I mean Glasgow Schools. I do beg their pardon. The wrong country, wrong school, everything. But Glasgow are not letting go of this one.
Yeah, I expect Glasgow to be strong in the second half. As I said, they had the fastest second half of any quad on the circuit at national schools.
Well, in that case, I mean, they've got to keep in touch, haven't they?
Absolutely.
No point putting in a burn from 2 lengths down.
Yeah, completely. Keep in touch, stay in the race, and then turn on the afterburners as you come down the course. So if you are watching the stream, stay with us, because I think we're expecting a real resurgence here from Glasgow Schools. They might be down, but I think they're still the favourite for this event, I have to say. Favourite for this race, certainly, and perhaps overall favourites. So they do look relaxed. They don't look particularly bothered by the fact that they are slightly down. I think if both crews come into shot, I think we might be seeing Glasgow getting back on terms with the crew from Nottingham.
Which they are.
You can hear the cheers going up on the bank here for both crews. That seems to be more Nottingham. Maybe that's to do with the distance between Henley and Nottingham and Henley and Glasgow. But I think it is Glasgow, as predicted. They have moved through, and I think they now have the lead.
They've gone through. They've got 3/4 of a length.
I'm not sure.
No,
if it's that
2/3.
It's enough. enough.
It's a lead, which is more than they had a short time ago, but Nottingham are not letting go either. And this is going to be. Keep watching this. If you're watching, this is not going to get any dull moments.
Yeah, this is a fantastic race, and as I said, Glasgow really are turning on the afterburners in the second half. It's a risky strategy because it doesn't always work. You can time it too late. You can, as Robin said, lose contact, but Glasgow are still sculling away. I think they're going to want to open up more distance between themselves and Nottingham, maybe get a little more comfortable because they're not going to be wanting to sit on the edge of their seats all the way down the course. They've got 2 more races to come in this event. And certainly looking at the 2 crews, it's Glasgow are sculling more in sync, more synchronicity between them and their catches, as opposed to Nottingham, who are a little out of sync, perhaps a little tired, used a bit too much energy in the first half. I think it's take a brave man to bet against Glasgow now.
I think so, yeah. That was a very good album, incidentally, Synchronicity. It was a long time ago, but...
I have to say, too long for me to remember.
Yeah, it would be, with Police.
Police.
But...
That's quite some time ago. I know Sting and the Police.
Yes.
Same thing. There you go, Glasgow stretched out. That's clear water.
They got clear water, yeah. But a very good prolonged bit of sculling by Glasgow.
You have to remember Glasgow were 3/4 of a length down on Nottingham as they came past the 500 metre mark. So they put almost 2 lengths through them in the middle section. So that is a pretty impressive achievement from those girls.
I think Nottingham may have done what in the old commentary days we used to call Plan B, which is if you're up against a strong opponent, chuck it all in at the start and try to get as much lead as you can.
That's probably wise, to be honest.
But
and it was admirable, to be fair. The opening exchanges, certainly from Nottingham, they led, which is more than most crews do against a boat of Glasgow's pedigree. But Glasgow schools now, they're sculling away, and they're relatively relaxed now. I think they're probably moving further and further away. I think Nottingham have used up most of their energy.
I think so.
I can't imagine a late comeback is on the cards here, and they come down towards the finish. It's Glasgow just taking their rate down a couple of pips and crossing the line comfortably ahead of the crew from Nottingham, and that's Glasgow through to the semi-finals of the Junior Women's Quadruple Sculls.
Yep.
So back to the start for our last quarter-final of that event, the B Langridge Trophy for Junior Women's Quads. And on the Berkshire station, it's the Isle of Ely Rob Roy Composite, so Cambridge born and bred. And on the Buckinghamshire station, it is Henley Rowing Club, so a local crew. Just waiting under starters' orders. You saw there the 2 girl in the composite, slapping her legs. Bit of pre-race gamesmanship. Always good to get yourself psyched up and ready. Be interesting to see how this composite get on in this event.
Do you know this particular Henley quad at all?
I have to say, I don't think, now I could be wrong, but I'm not aware of the fact that it is their top crew. I don't think it is their top crew.
No.
Be interested to see how they do get on anyway. But obviously we've got a crew from the Isle of Ely who finished second in the B final of the Junior Women's Quads at the National Schools Regatta a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago. They've obviously strengthened with the addition of a sculler from Rob Roy. So they'll be looking to overturn Henley. If they can turn Henley over, it'll be one hell of an achievement, because any crew from Henley, I mean, I don't know a lot specifically about this crew, but any crew from Henley, you always know it's going to be fast, and you always know it's going to row well. Chris Boothroyd obviously has his finger on the pulse of junior women's rowing, and I'm sure he'll be excited to see how his quad perform as they come down the course. And they left the start. Clean start from both crews. I think it is the composite with the early advantage.
Yep.
Of course, you've got to remember now, ladies and gents, we're at the quarter-final stage of this event, so all the crews here, they're not going to be hanging around. They're all going to be fast. They're all going to have experience of the Henley course now. They're all going to have power and technique and have done the winter training. So we've got no slouches in this event anymore. I think that's showing the quality of the rowing and the sculling is getting better and better with every race that comes down the course. But I think it is the composite crew, Isle of Ely Rob Roy Boat Club, who have the slight advantage, but maybe my eyes are deceiving me.
It's so difficult with these camera angles. You look and you think that someone's got about 2.5 lengths, and they turn out to be bow ball to bow ball when you give it so.
Yeah, it is incredibly hard.
But the Isle of Ely Rob Roy crew are just having to correct a bit, as always is happening on this station. But they are ahead, aren't they, if you look at the blades?
Absolutely. I think they're pretty comfortably ahead, actually. If you look at the bow girl of the composite crew and the bow girl of the Henley crew, I think they're probably a length up. Impressive stuff from those girls, straight out the blocks. And I think we've seen already today that a length is just not quite enough. If you can steal a margin, if you can steal perhaps another half length, another length, which it looks like Isle of Ely, Rob Roy are trying their hardest to do now, if you can get that advantage, then the race is in your hands. The length isn't quite enough, as we saw in the last race where Glasgow rode through Nottingham in the middle of the course.
Pint of clear water between them. Henley are going to have to do something fairly fast if they're not going to get out of touch.
Of course, Henley Rowing Club did finish 5th in the Championship Girls 8s at the National Schools Regatta. I'm not sure how many of those crew are on board this quad now, but in any case, as I said, any Henley Rowing Club crew has class, but not enough to upset this composite, who I have to say, if you look at the girls physically, they are very strong and they're rowing well together.
They're big and they're strong and they're definitely rowing well together, as you say. And
I mean, they're stretching right out now, Robin. I mean, that's considerable.
Well, it's what my more vulgar friends call the grunt factor. I think there's there's more cubic capacity in the engine from the Fens than there is in the Henley one.
I'll tell you what,
they're getting left.
I didn't have that composite crew down as one of my pre-race favourites, but watch out for these girls because they are really taking it on, I have to say. It's going to take a brave man to bet against them. If you look at the way they're sculling and the length and strength of the girls in that crew, they're sculling really, really well.
There's no waste in that. They're nice, upright, no waste. Nice hands. Look at the blades. It's good.
So I think that race is pretty much decided as they come past our commentary position. I think that's going to be a win for Isle of Ely Rob Roy Composites. We'll head back down to the start for our first quarter-final of the senior quads. This is race 100.